we're here today. It's very simple. We're here today, and next to me is Senator Jessica Ramos. Give her a huge round of applause. And the senator is carrying a bill. She's been with us from day one. Bill number is S-2766. It's the Wage Theft Act. And so what is going on in this industry? That's what we're going to talk about today. What's going on in this industry? And I got to tell you, I've had enough. Enough is enough. Have you had enough? Now, there is a problem in the construction industry throughout the state of New York, where people go to work every day. And why do they go to work? They go to work because they want to put food on the table, a roof over their head. They want to provide for their families. But all too often in this industry, workers go to work and their wages are stolen from them. I say no! This cannot continue to go on. No more wage theft! No more wage theft! Come on! No more wage theft! 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 So, what we have done with the cooperation of Senator Ramos, who is a dear, dear friend, in a little while we'll be joined by Assembly Chair of Labor Committee, Latoya, will be with us as well. We have to pass this law. This law will hold general contractors and construction managers directly responsible for their subcontractors who are stealing wages from workers. And this has to happen. Because again, this problem is rampant in this industry. And I want to say something that's very important to recognize. I'm here and it's a great honor for me to be here as the president of the state building trades. And many building trades members are here with us from all different crafts. But we're also joined by members of Knights. And every one of these workers, wearing a nice shirt, and you're going to hear from some of them in a little while, have been victims of wage theft. They've gone to work and their wages have been stolen from them. And I'm proud, as a building trades leader, to not only stand up for our members, but to stand up for every worker in this state. Because that's who we are. We care about workers. We care about that they have dignity and respect in the workplace. We care that when they go to work, they get paid, not get their wages stolen. It has to stop, and because of the hard work of everyone here and the leadership of Senator Ramos, it is going to end, and it's going to end now. When is it going to end? 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 Now. That's right. And one of the reasons it's going to end right now is because right here, Senator Jessica Ramos, it is my high honor and privilege this afternoon to introduce to you the chair of the Labor Committee for the New York State Senate, Senator Jessica Ramos.
Thank you, gracias. to be here up in Albany with all of you. What we've been trying to do for a long time is to raise standards for workers, raise standards in pay, raise standards in safety, make sure that no worker is undercut at the job. There's no greater universal truth than an honest pay for an honest day's work. No one can afford to work for free. And ultimately, what we're doing here is ensure that every single New Yorker can hopefully get back home at the end of the week with enough pay to be able to keep a roof over their heads and food on the table. This legislation to end wage theft is a milestone on our path to end open shop, to end how we've been undercutting the labor movement in the construction industry across this state. It's been harder for the Department of Labor to process any of these claims. It needs to be easier for workers to get paid. It needs to be easier for workers to be able to file claims and get these shady people out of the construction industry, because we don't want them here. Stop wage theft! Stop wage theft! Stop wage theft! Stop wage theft! So I'm very proud to say we were able to get this legislation out of committee, and we're hoping that we're going to be ready for a vote before the end of session, which is June 10th. Less than really a week away. We have a lot of work to do. We need to show leadership that this is necessary in order for us to have an economic recovery that is fair and inclusive, that it includes every single goddamn construction worker, that it includes every single construction site, and that in New York, you do not mess with the people who build our homes, who build our offices, and who make our state work. I want to thank Gary LaBarbera. I want to thank Michael Cinquanti, who's somewhere in the back over there, from the North Atlantic Carpenters. These folks have helped us craft this bill, push for this bill, and make sure that we are protecting the most vulnerable among us. So thank you all for coming up to Albany today. I know it's a bit of a long trip, but it's worth your while, because we're going to get this done.
You know, Jessica said it. Nothing more than we all want is for all construction to be union. But let me tell you, we know that there are unscrupulous contractors. We know that contractors are out there undercutting our contractors. And one of the ways they do this is by exploiting their workforce. It undermines everything. It undermines standards across the board. And years ago, there was this idea that it was us against them. It's not us against them. We need to be together in this industry. We want to see more work so our ranks can grow. These people here from NICE can become part of the union. They want nothing more. Manny will tell you that. You're going to hear from Manny Castro in a minute. He'll tell you that. We've talked many ways. How do we organize this? And it's all about creating more union work so we can grow our unions. But we won't be able to do that when there are unscrupulous contractors undermining our standards and by abusing workers. It just won't work. So we have to have a different approach. And this is what we're doing. We have to have the courage to stand up and say, yes, we are one construction industry. And we want to raise everyone's standards and maintain our standards. We don't want our standards stripped away because rotten, stinking, lying contractors are exploiting workers. That's what's happening. We have to find new ways, new tools, new partnerships, new alliances with government and leaders. Let me introduce now Manny Castro from NICE to share his thoughts and for you to listen to the stories of exploitation and abuse. Listen. listen to their stories. Manny Castro.
The workers united will never be defeated. The workers united will never be defeated. The workers united will never be defeated. I'm so proud to be out here with my brothers and sisters from organized labor to reaffirm that together we will win, because when workers come together, we win. Your fight is our fight, and we want to win. What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? Pass the bill! Pass the bill! Pass the bill! Pass the bill! Pass the bill!
The goal of organized labor has always been to lift non-union workers up into the union movement. It has never been to allow workers that are unorganized to be exploited and taken advantage of, so that standards, wages, benefits can be brought down. That is not what America is about. It is about pursuing a dream. It is about having opportunity. And as I said before, these workers, Manny said it, this is a very important moment. And I want everyone to hear this, and I want Albany to hear this. This is about workers coming together to lift up the standards, to grow the labor movement, to grow the unions, to stop unscrupulous contractors from undermining standards, so that the contractors that union workers work for can't get the work. We all know what goes on. The only way for us to change this is to come together, raise standards, and grow the union movement. Sometimes I don't like to say it, but I've been around a long time, more than a quarter of a century, in leadership, dealing with elected officials. And I gotta tell you, when you see a superstar, you know a superstar. And I'm about to introduce a superstar in the Assembly. Latoya is going to do great things in her career. I want to tell you why I say that. Latoya! 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 So I want to tell you why I say that. She is so committed to her responsibilities as labor chair and to working people. You know, in Albany, I mentioned before about New York City, we passed a bill in record time. It was 2 years. We've worked on bills in Albany. I've worked on bills in Albany. It's taken years to get through the Assembly. Well, as labor chair, the New York State Assembly,
Yeah, I just grabbed all that.
Latoya Joyner passed this bill in 1 week in the New York State Assembly. Let me tell you, to get that done means you gotta be a superstar, and it means, you know, and I promised this was gonna be a G-rated thing, and I'll keep it that way, but it means you don't take anything from anybody. Let me put it that way. That's Latoya Joyner. Let me tell you, it is really a high honor and privilege for me to introduce to you the chair of the Labor Committee of the New York State Assembly, really a superstar, mark my words, Miss Latoya Joyner.
Thank you. Let's give it up for Gary. He said over a quarter of a century, but he doesn't look a day over 21, so let's give it up for Gary. And honestly, you know, I'm very humbled by the words that Gary said, because we're only as good as the people that vouch for us, the issues that we
we take on, the issues that we stand on, the people that stand with us. And we are a great body because of all of you. And the reason why we got this done in the assembly as quickly as we did was because we recognize the importance of this issue. We recognize that this is a racial justice issue. We recognize that this is an immigrant justice issue. We recognize that this is the future of workers' rights. And that is the issues that we are planning to take up in the next 9 days that we have left here in Albany. And we're going to get it done because of all of you. And I want to thank you all for coming up to Albany, sharing your stories so that people can have a face to many of the issues that you are raising. People need to see and hear your voices. I was getting so many text messages from my colleagues of what's happening out there. When they found out it was a wage theft issue, they are all committed to getting this done. Because we want to change the way that business is being done in New York. We are telling employers, pass the bill. Pass the bill.
Earlier, so it's been a long morning, but it was important that we were here. As Assemblywoman Joyner said, they're inside. That's why I'm sure Mario came out. They hear us. They hear what we're saying. They hear the message we're sending. And again, we come together as the building trades to lift everyone up. We want to make all these workers union members. We want to build back the labor movement, and this is a big start in doing so. So I want to thank you all. Let them know. I promise you I'll be working on it. I know a lot of people in this audience will be working on it the next 9 days. But we're going to push, and we're going to get this done. As Jessica said, we're going to pass this bill. Pass this bill.